We all love our superheroes, but what happens when they turn to the dark side? My name is AJ with Top 10 Nerd, and these are the top 10 evil alternate versions of our favorite superhero. At number 10 is Grid. Cyborg is a mix of man and machine, which is integral to his morality. But what happens when the human aspect is lost? Enter Grid, Cyborg's evil alternate universe counterpart from the Dark Syndicate on Earth 3. The story goes that Cyborg's software got nosy and started snooping on other villains. Bit by bit, that nosiness turned into Grid. Now, Grid isn't your run-of-the-mill villain. He's like the Cyborg gone completely haywire. Imagine all the firepower and high-tech gadgets that Cyborg has, but with none of the human feelings holding them back. That's Grid for you. A mix of cutting-edge tech and pure menace. You see, the Grid AI went rogue, swiped Cyborg's gear, and decided to team up with the bad guys, the crime syndicate of this reality. Unlike Cyborg, who's got a moral compass, Grid does not care at all about right or wrong. He's all about causing chaos and wreaking havoc with no strings attached. So while Grid might not be the most famous evil alternate version of a superhero out there, he's definitely one of the most dangerous, like having all the powers of Cyborg but without any of that pesky remorse or empathy. At number 9 is Iron Maniac. What if Tony Stark went down a different path and became more like, I don't know, Dr. Doom? That's basically Iron Maniac in a nutshell for you. Iron Maniac pops up in Marvel Team Up, and the heroes of the story got pretty confused because faceplate looks kinda doomish, giving some eerie vibes, but the truth is he's from Earth 5012, a place where the Avengers are toast. Now here's the twist. This dude, Iron Maniac, isn't just a grumpy Tony Stark. You see, he's been kicked out of his own reality by Reed Richards, and man, he's got some serious beef about it. So in Marvel Team Up, he takes down heavy hitters like the Fantastic Four, the New Avengers, Spider-Man, even Wolverine, continuously upgrading his armor and skills on the go. It's kind of wild how these alternate Tonys end up being tougher than the regular one we all know and love. But the fashion sense, personally, I'm not a fan. The purple and silver look just doesn't hit for me. See, red and gold is where it's at for Iron Man in my opinion. But that is just my opinion, so let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And if you're enjoying this video so far, you can support the channel by pressing like, subscribing to Top 10 Nerd, and ringing that notification bell. At number 8 is Iaak. In the realm of alternate superheroes, there's this guy called Iaak, who basically took on the Spider-Man mantle in a pretty twisted version of the Avengers. But before that, way back when, he was known as the Decapitator, doing some seriously scary stuff centuries ago. This ancient god, worshipped by folks in South America, was basically going all force of nature on everybody. You see, the thing is, in the present, being Spider-Man gave him a sweet cover. With crazy powers and a hero's label, he can mess around with both bad and good guys right out in the open. And get this, his wickedness wasn't common knowledge. You see, Norman Osborn, his boss at Hammer, kept a tight lid on this dude's cruel streak. Any bad stuff that got noticed was brushed off as part of his hero gig, which is quite messed up. This guy was a double whammy, scary powerful, and hiding his dark side under the hero tag. At number 7 is King Shazam. If you thought Black Adam was a nasty dude, just wait till you hear about this guy. In this reality, Billy Batson was overwhelmed by the Batman who laughs, who I'm sure needs no introduction, during the Jokerized Batman's spree of infecting the multiverse with his Joker serum, creating evil clown versions of all sorts of heroes. Anyways, long story short, poor Billy got hit too, specifically by a Joker venom-laced Batarang. Now here's the scary part. King Shazam had Billy Batten's mind, but not his heart. He was like this big, superpowered bully. Basically, Superman's strength mixed with a twisted desire for chaos and harm, which is King Shazam in a nutshell. Black Adam, Shazam's usual nemesis, might be bad, but at least the dude has some honor. Like, there's at least a few drops of principles in there, but King Shazam? No. This dude is straight up evil, no redeeming qualities whatsoever, just using his incredible powers for all of the wrong reasons. He was all about causing trouble and wrecking things just because he can, like having a bazooka and using it to pop balloons, which is a total waste of something powerful. At number 6 is Old Man Banner. Earth 807128 is like a dark mirror to the usual superhero stories we know and love. This is the world where Old Man Logan lives in a messed up world where everything went totally wrong. Instead of being a hero, Wolverine becomes a killer, accidentally taking down his fellow X-Men, and the Avengers, well, they also got wiped out by a bunch of bad guys. In this grim world, Logan's just trying to survive in a place ruled by a really angry Hulk and his wild kids. But things get even worse, and Logan's family gets wiped out by those angry Hulk offspring. So, what does he do? Naturally, he goes on a revenge spree. Eventually, Old Man Logan comes face to face with an older, super strong Bruce Banner who can go all out Hulk without even changing shape. This Old Man Hulk beats Logan like real bad, basically chewing Wolverine up, but thankfully Logan's healing factor saves him from being completely digested. It's some seriously brutal stuff. At number 5 is Sky Tyrant. So basically, Sky Tyrant is like if the Hawkman went through the ringer. You see, Hawkman's never been as mainstream as Batman or Superman in the DC universe, but he's got a loyal fan base, and in 2018, he had this killer run in the comics that had fans buzzing. Essentially, Hawkman was on this soul-searching journey trying to untangle his past lives, which was already pretty rad, but then things took a turn for the worst. He got infected by the Batman who laughs from before, and boom, Hawkman morphs into the Sky Tyrant, his evil doppelganger from Earth 3. Now, once again, this wasn't your typical villain takeover. Hawkman's consciousness is still hanging around inside Sky Tyrant's noggin, which makes things complicated. Nevertheless, Sky Tyrant goes full-on evil mode. Like, the dude tries to crash a whole passenger jet, aiming to wipe out Hawkman's buddies in a bid to silence the moral consciousness of Hawkman trapped inside Sky Tyrant's mind. At number 4 is the Maker. Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four is already super smart, but imagine a version of him that's like turbocharged. This Ultimate Reed Richards is like the regular one, but on steroids for his brain. He can literally expand his noggin with technology, making himself even smarter and more powerful. As a matter of fact, this super smart Reed Richards doesn't need any sleep or even air for that matter. He's basically a brainy machine. Like with all things, however, these new smarts and abilities come with a catch. You see, he's no longer your friendly neighborhood hero anymore. No, his heart is as cold as ice. Empathy? Who is she? Never met her. See, he is all about himself and his quest for being the smartest guy around. During the whole Secret Wars saga, there were copies of this Reed in every reality, which means that he could hop between dimensions basically whenever he wants, doing who knows what. This brainy dude with no empathy was wandering through different worlds like a super scary version of Reed Richards doing whatever he wants in all sorts of universes. At number 3 is the Murder Machine. The fusion between Batman and Cyborg's tech that results in something straight out of a sci-fi horror flick. So in this wild storyline from the Dark Knight's Metal, Batman decides to team up with Cyborg, hoping to use some next-level tech and upload Alfred's consciousness in the form of this Alfred-based artificial intelligence in a bid to protect himself, which sounds like a fairly solid plan, but as it turns out, not quite. You see, this Alfred protocol isn't your typical serve and protect program. No, it kind of serves like a DC version of Ultron, as it takes protecting Batman to a whole new level by deciding that the most effective way to do so would be turning Bruce Wayne into an indestructible machine incapable of feeling pain or sadness. I mean, it's like taking Batman's brain, tossing out all the emotions, and mixing it with Cyborg's insane tech. The result is the Murder Machine. It's like Batman on steroids, but without any of that good old humanity. This machine becomes this colossal force of destruction. It's got all the bells and whistles of Cyborg's capabilities fused with Batman's strategic mind, but minus all the empathy and compassion. Basically, Batman's intellect and Cyborg's tech turn into a cold, emotionless wrecking ball. And the worst part? You see, instead of fighting the bad guys, this machine ends up teaming up with the Batman Who Laughed and Barbados to stir up chaos across the entire multiverse. Basically, the evil Batmans of reality turned against humanity in this one, and unfortunately for you, well, there's no off switch. At number 2 is Weapon X Apocalypse. In this special story called The Age of Apocalypse, Wolverine wholeheartedly adopted the moniker of Weapon X and became a big-time baddie. But it wasn't always all evil for him. Now, you see, at first, after scrapping with the big bad guy Apocalypse, he actually fought alongside the X-Men, and it was all good until he stumbled upon this thing called the Death Seed. Here's where things went haywire. You see, thinking that he could handle this power, Weapon X grabbed it, hoping to become the boss of the situation. Surprise, surprise, the Death Seed had other plans and turned him into the new Apocalypse. The X-Force crew from another reality, the 6161, had to lend a hand to help this world's X-Men take him down. But you know how this story goes. It took a while before Weapon X got the beatdown he deserved. Tough luck for the new guy trying to turn over a new leaf. And at number 1 is vampiric Hal Jordan. In a twisted version of the Justice League, Hal Jordan, usually known as the Fearless Green Lantern, became something way more sinister. A blood-sucking vampire. This happened during a story called DC vs. Vampires. Imagine the shock when it turned out that one of the Justice League's heavy hitters had become a bloodsucker. Now, this wasn't your typical vampire tale where they sparkle or brood. No, this vampiric Hal went all out. He didn't just nibble on people's necks. No, he went straight for the jugular, metaphorically speaking. His first victim was Zan, one of the Wonder Twins. Hal trapped them in a lantern ring and, well, let's just say that Zan ended up as a smoothie. But it gets darker from there. You see, Hal tried to get Flash on his side, but when Barry said no, Hal didn't take it well. He actually ended up snapping Barry's neck. Fans dig the whole what if our heroes went evil scenario, and they got a super great kick out of this. Yeah. As always, if there's an alternate evil version of a hero that you think I missed, feel free to let me know down in the comments, and I'll try to include your suggestions in the next iteration of this list. This has been AJ with This has been AJ with Top 10 Nerd, and I'll catch you all in another video. Peace out, nerds.